internet today. So, welcome to BA38's Small Business Operations with Captain Andrew Blondebeard Shin. You're at Reedley College, and I'm Captain Shin. If you haven't noticed, today is International Talk Like a Pirate Day, September 19th. My favorite holiday of the year. R's and I's are heartily encouraged today. In honor of International Talk Like a Pirate Day, we be studying pirates as entrepreneurs. So, I want to talk just a little bit about the qualifications to talk to you about pirates as entrepreneurs. So the first thing you should know about me is that I be an emerald shellback. Does anybody know what an emerald shellback is, other than Zachariah? Anybody else know what an emerald shellback is? I'll be telling you here. I brought with me my certificate to prove that I'm an emerald shellback. The ancient order of the emerald shellbacks, or the ancient order of the shellbacks, is a maritime tradition passed down from sailor to sailor continuously since the 1200s. Sometimes it be called the crossing the line ceremony because it happens at the equator on a ship. To be an emerald shellback, you have to cross the equator at 0,0000 latitude and 0,0000 longitude, which is a special place at the center of the Earth off the coast of Africa. I crossed the line on on July 17th, 2005, on the Coast Guard cutter Pier. And I'll read you the certificate that I have proving such. It says, "Know all ye by these presents, and to all pollywogs, mermaids, sea serpents, whales, porpoises, sharks, dolphins, eels, skates, crabs, lobsters, and other living denizens of the sea, greetings. Know ye that on 17 July 2005, at latitude 0,0000 and longitude 0,0000, there appeared within our royal domain the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Pier at the equator and the Greenwich Meridian. Be it known that the ship with officers and crew thereof has been examined and passed on by ourselves and our royal staff. Also be it known by all ye who go down to the sea in ships, as well as ye lowly landlubbers, who may be honored by the presence of BA2 Andrew J. Shin, who has been found qualified to be numbered as one of our emerald shellbacks and has been duly initiated into the solemn mysteries of the ancient order of the emerald shellbacks. Be it further known that by the virtue of the power invested in me, I do hereby command all my subjects to show this illustrious emerald shellback due honor and respect, disobey this order under penalty of our royal displeasure." Signed, Davy Jones, His Majesty's Stride, and Neptunus Rex, ruler of the Raging Main, and Captain Robert P. Wagner, commanding officer of the vessel. So am I acquainted with mermaids and the kraken and all manner of mysteries of the sea, which I can't tell you lowly landlubbers about? Why, yes, I am. The second thing you should know about me is that I boarded a vessel with a gun in several oceans, including off the Barbary coast. Can somebody tell me where the Barbary coast is? Wait, where? Yonder. Africa. Which part? It'd be in North Africa, and I'd be showing you where it is. In the Mediterranean Sea, exactly. This here be the Barbary coast. Here's Tripoli. Anybody heard of Tripoli? Yes. No, it's not Egypt. No, Egypt's over here. It's near Egypt. Egypt is also on the Mediterranean. Yep, Egypt's down here. There you go. So yes, I boarded vessels in those waters. I've also launched several businesses from the shipyard to the barnacle scraping, and know a thing or two about that in the piracy. So you may be asking, how are entrepreneurs like pirates, or how are pirates like entrepreneurs? And I have a few reasons. The first is that branding is important. Do you know the history of the Jolly Roger flag? The Jolly Roger was a real flag that was used by various pirates. However, different pirates had their own takes on the Jolly Roger flag. It's like a logo. It's exactly like a logo. It's branding, or branding. So the real Jolly Roger flag included branding, and different pirates had their own brands of the Jolly Roger flag. Some had a skeleton, or a skeleton standing on two heads, or a skeleton next to a naked guy holding an hourglass, or some other variation thereof. But pirates would create their own branding to strike fear into the hearts of those they were attacking. The hour, yeah. Ooh. So for pirates, branding is important. For you as entrepreneurs, you're making a choice to do something that normal people don't do. Normal people finish college and they get the job, and you say, "I'm going to launch my own ship. I'm gonna start my own enterprise. I'm gonna create a vessel of my own. I'll attract followers. I'll make a compelling vision, and I'll go out there and change the world." And that's what pirates did too. They would make an anti-establishment choice. Arr, arr. That's kind of like amen in a pirate church. What you don't know is that I wear this every day. And it smells like a pirate. So both paths, starting an enterprise and launching a pirate vessel, take courage. Do they not? Because failure is everywhere. Where's failure in business? Alright, that's right. So with failure in business, you can lose your shirt. With failure in piracy, you can lose your leg. Or your hand and wear a hook or a piglet. One of those. Or your eye. Eye. Interestingly, also, both piracy and entrepreneurship represent a response to market conditions. In the case of piracy, we'd be talking about markets that exclude many people from participating. And in entrepreneurship, it is the same. Some are illegal in some countries. There are countries where you cannot launch a business without meeting certain requirements. And in those countries, the people who launch businesses in spite of those regulations are indeed pirates. So I want to talk about industry sectors within piracy. There would be three distinct industry sectors within piracy. The first is the pure pirate entrepreneur, and this is the pirate that you're used to thinking about. This is the pirate who says, "I'm going to launch my own vessel." And he goes and he talks to venture capitalists. And those venture capitalists say, "Aye, I'll give you money because I like the cut of your jib. I like your sword. I think you can get men to follow you." And they would purchase a vessel. They'd hire their employees. They'd head out to sea and hope to strike it rich. Management matters with pure pirate entrepreneurs. But the second kind of pirate, has anybody heard the word privateer? What is a privateer? I see you squinting, but I think you may need an eye patch. A privateer is a special hybrid between a pirate and a merchant. So a privateer would often be a merchant who launched out to sea with a legitimate business mission and contacted the government before going. The government would give them what's called a letter of marque. This letter of marque allows them to attack vessels from other countries at which the country be at war Trying to speak both proper English and pirate at the same time. It's not working so well. So a privateer is a hybrid between a regular pure entrepreneurial pirate and the government, which is our third pirate industry sector. Now, you may be asking, how is the government involved in piracy? And I'll be telling you that. It may sound like a joke. It's not a joke. It's real history. So we've talked about the ways in which a pure entrepreneur pirate gets venture backing. They may go to an investor and say, I need 300 pounds, or 3,000 pounds, or 30,000 pounds because I'd be buying it. The second thing that a pirate, the second aspect of a pure pirate entrepreneur or a pure entrepreneurial pirate is that their business model will be risky. There'll be regulatory constraints to deal with, such as hanging, right? Yeah, that's right. That'd be a regulatory constraint for pirates. With the business model of a pirate, what are some of the startup costs? Tell me about startup costs for a pirate, for a pure entrepreneurial pirate. A ship. Boats are very, very small. Ships are very, very big.
The crew.
The crew. How do you pay a pirate crew? There'd be two ways to pay a pirate crew. How do you pay a pirate crew? Well, gold, hopefully, but you don't start off with gold. Well, okay, there'd be more than one way. Because rum be a right on a pirate ship, not just a part of the pay. Just so you'd be paying in rum on a daily basis. Every sailor on every ship gets a ration of rum. What else? How else do you pay a pirate?
Bounce booty.
It's awfully hard to bring women aboard ship.
No, pirate booty. Isn't that what they call the treasure?
Because women can control the crew's morale.
Don't they call that the treasure booty? Pirate booty?
Aye. So
that doesn't mean
the third way.
I didn't mean that kind of booty.
No. She said women.
Oh.
You said booty.
Oh,
So what do we call booty in our modern parlance? Treasure? No.
Gold. Commission.
Commission. The booty is a commission. And what a pirate captain would say is, he'd say, if you sign on to my ship, I'll give the entire crew a share of the take. Usually the crew took home maybe an eighth of the booty capture. And we'll just say the booty was commission. Commission is a brilliant way for an entrepreneur to lower their upfront risk, their upfront costs. When you start a company today and you hand out shares to your employees, you're given a commission because do you have the booty up front? No. It's always behind. It's on the back end of the mission. So after you've earned the gold, you can distribute it. But you don't have anything with which to hire your privateer crew or your pirate crew right up front. So you work on commission or stock options. Stock options be a form of commission. So as you're starting your company, you can say, I'll give you, Shandon, so many stock options, so you can redeem these at a given price. If the price of the company's shares go up, you can redeem at the lower price, and instantly put some gold in your pockets. The commission is the third way that pirates are paid. What's the second? We've talked about rum, and we've talked about gold. Rum's the first. Okay.
Merchandise. Whatever they steal, whatever.
Land, maybe, whatever they steal is a booty. The other way that you can pay a pirate is in wages. So your daily, monthly wages. Now, if you're to pay a pirate high wages, would you give him a lot of booty or would you give him less booty?
Less booty.
Less booty. So, if you, it depends on how much is available, right? So that's why it's calculated in percentage, just like any commission. So if you pay a pirate high wages, you pay him low commission. If you pay him low wages, if he'll work for a pit and center risk, then you pay him more in terms of commission, in terms of booty. As you're starting your companies, you can think of this. You can try to pay people less by promising them more in the future. This is a trade-off that we all make when we're hiring people as entrepreneurs. Savvy? Aye.
Arr.
Arr. That's the correct response. So, a pure pirate entrepreneur has high startup costs. We've talked about the ship. We've talked about the crew. What's the third aspect? So, intelligence networks. Do you think of intelligence networks when you think of pirates? Yes, you do. So, who said maps? Maps. You need maps to get where you're going, don't you? What else do you need in terms of intelligence? A compass. Well, you need to know where you're going. That's a bit of information. It's operational information, but it's not necessarily intelligence. Protection, no.
Knowledge of the area you're going to be at.
Knowledge of the area, yes, but there's one really important piece of intelligence you need if you be pirating.
Crew.
No,
cannons.
It's not intelligence.
Cannons.
Captain's intelligence. You hire dumb guys who can swing a sword well.
Weaponry. Cannons.
No, the intelligence you need is
Oh,
what?
intelligence.
Where the ships are going to be.
Shipping channels.
And just as
Shipping
important,
routes.
yes, you need to know the shipping routes. You need to know where specific ships are going to be. And just as important, you need to know what's on the ships. Because would you attack a whaler?
No.
Maybe, yeah. But would you attack a Spanish treasure ship or a whaler if you had the choice? Probably the Spanish treasure ship if you thought you could take them. So you need intelligence. You need to know when is the Spanish treasure ship leaving? Where is it leaving from? And what's its load? What's its cargo? What's its manifest? Pirates ran, and still to this day run, sophisticated intelligence networks to tell them where things are. So in shipping today, this is interesting.
Somalians, man.
In shipping today, pirates have very specific business intelligence networks, and these networks tell them exactly what's in a shipping container and which container contains the booty that they want to steal. Where in the hold it be stored? Because when pirates today come on board a vessel, they go to directly the right place. They take exactly what they knew they were going to steal, and they give the captain a list of what they stole as they leave the ship, so that the captain can file an insurance claim. It's an interesting business. That's true. I know. Or at times a captain will post somebody at the pirate's exit point so that they can take a log of what's being stolen for the insurance claim later on. Yes. The short answer is yes. Go watch Captain Phillips. Okay. So the second pirate in this industry sector we'll be talking about today is a privateer. And again, a privateer is somebody who is less risky, a bit more of a middleman.
Contractor.
So kind of a contractor to the government. So the government will again issue a letter of marque to a privateer. That privateer then has permission to go attack ships from the enemy country and take their cargo. So it's government-sanctioned piracy, if you will. It's a little bit less risky for two reasons. First of all, they won't hang you for it. At least your own country won't hang you for it. The other country will hang you for it. The second reason, though, it's less risky, is that you already have the ship, you already have the crew, and you have another mission first. You'd be a merchant, or you'd be doing some other kind of business on the high seas, and you just have to buy some extra weaponry to have around in case you need to be a pirate. It's less like Microsoft than other things we'll talk about. So, with being a privateer, the privateer and the pirates can be a secondary revenue stream. You've already purchased a ship, you're already paying the crew, you have them do some extra work, and you keep some extra treasure. It's less risky because you've already got the upfront costs paid. As you're creating your businesses as entrepreneurs, always think about secondary revenue streams. There's this tension between secondary revenue streams and getting distracted from your core business. If you be out pirating all the time and you never be doing your work, you have money to pay the crew. No. Probably not. Sometimes. Probably not. However, you need to be watching for these secondary revenue opportunities. I'll tell you about a company started by a friend of mine. It's a family-run company, and they process nuts. And this company, yes, all kinds of nuts. They ship from all over the country. They process them. They shell them. They package them. They used to get rid of the shells, and they package them and send them out and sell them worldwide. One of the largest nut producers in the world. So my friend realized one day that the nuts are worth some money, but the shells are also worth some money. And they started taking the shells, and they started grinding the shells up and selling them for cosmetics, for mining applications, for all manner of different industries.
Sandblasting.
Sandblasting, exactly. And they started making more money on the shells than they were making on the nuts. This secondary revenue stream started making this company more money. And so what did they do? They doubled down on the secondary revenue stream. They eventually sold the main company and just kept the second one. It was more profitable. There were more margins. So the margins again, sales minus cost of goods sold. So on an income statement, the sales minus your cost of goods sold leaves your gross margin. Sometimes we call it gross income, gross profit, gross revenue. But it's also called gross margin. So you have a high degree of gross margin. You keep your expenses low, then you take home food. So pay attention to your secondary revenue streams, but don't lose focus on the first thing you're doing. It can be more profitable. This be the lesser-known aspect of piracy. And I say this not by way of being facetious, but by way of being historically accurate. So when the British Navy would send out captains, who's seen Master and Commander? Okay, it's a movie, yes. Well, I may show you the trailer today, because it's worth seeing. Yes. As a matter of fact, right now, I'm going to show you the trailer for Master and Commander. It is out.
Dream. Oh, it has Maximus. Everybody runs with the gladiator. Shit, not someone who named their kid Maximus because, again.
15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Joseph, could you grab your lights, please?
$5. Did you know auctioneers make bad grocery
Ahoy!
stores? $23.50.
Let's play commercial. Didn't you have to do no dryer? It felt much like gold or something. Yeah.
Right, lads. That's good, Mr. Blanket. Turn quick on. Make the law straight for us. Found us now, ahoy!
Mr. Warehouse, we're in very good hands. 7 weeks sailing, and he happens on our exact position. Well, then Percy's looking for us. Damn, it was good. An active war will cripple them.
With basic repairs, we can get over to the yard.
But not going home. The power of nature will threaten them.
Already more than twice our guns, more than twice our numbers.
And we are supposed to stop. Toby's will fulfill his duty.
Captain's not called Lucky Jack for no reason. Phantom or no, Lucky Jack clever.
In the lives of the men he commands. You must face the invincible.
Fights like you, Jack. Who's going to become the hunted?
Well, then, there's no moment to lose. Two big successes, sir. And then before you go away, as a friend, I would say that we should have turned back weeks ago. It's leadership, people. Strength. Find out within yourself. and you earn their respect. Mummy boy didn't take him on the ship.
On the ship. Thank you, sir.
I've got a prize!
Stay off, Sissy.
Let's fly!
Hi, there were kids. It's true to life. The lights again, Joseph, please.
I think I have much to tell you about history, about your history. Your father was a visionary.
The master and commander be about a captain named Jack Aubrey. Lucky Jack Aubrey, they called him. And it's based on a series of 22 books. Jack Aubrey was a captain for the British Crown. Yes, 22 books. I read about 6 of them.
Was it during Queen Anne's reign or after Queen Anne's?
After Queen Anne's reign. But during the Napoleonic Wars between Britain and France. So the government during that time would pay Captain Jack Aubrey, just like the United States government pays our ship captains today. But the money wasn't very good. It wasn't very much money. And to make up for that, a captain like Captain Jack Aubrey was authorized to take prizes from the enemy. So he'd capture an enemy ship, and the enemy ship, instead of belonging to the government, would belong to Captain Jack Aubrey as his prize. What he'd have to do is take half of his crew, or a small amount of his crew, and send them back to port to meet with his prize agent. The prize agent would sell the ship for as much money as he could. He'd send the money back, or keep it in the account of Captain Jack Aubrey, and Captain Jack Aubrey would then pay a commission to his crew. So again, the crew would share about 1/8 of the prize. He would keep about half of it, and the rest would be split up among his senior officers. So this really represents piracy. It's the same thing with a different business model. The same thing with a different legal sanction. And it's interesting. The ability of a captain to attract followers depended greatly on his ability to capture prizes. So really, we're again looking at a secondary revenue stream. But the secondary revenue stream becomes a personal brand the captain wears. So this is branding and marketing again, to attract talent, to attract a crew, so that he can go out and do his mission and fight for the Queen. So his skill as an entrepreneur affects his ability to fight as a captain for the British Crown. So we've been talking about what this week and last week. What's the main topic? How to make money is the definition. What's the heading? Business model. That's right. So a business model is how we make money. As you're making money, you have to consider the economics of a unit, as we've discussed. As we're considering the economics of a unit, you need to know the cost structure of your business. How much of your business is cost of goods sold or variable costs, and how much of the costs that you incur as a company come as fixed costs. So, as you think about the cost structure of piracy, that is the ratio of fixed costs to variable costs. What would be the variable costs for a pirate? Guns, ammunition would be a variable cost for a pirate, because you only use ammunition either when practicing for battle or when you're in battle with an enemy, right? Cannonballs.
Food.
Food be somewhat of a variable cost.
Fruit.
This be either...
What's that disease? Scabies?
Scurvy.
Scurvy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scabies is a venereal.
Oh. Well, I could probably get those.
That's a part of the pirating world.
Yeah.
So, yes, food be what we call a mixed cost. It could be a variable cost. We have not talked about step variable costs. We haven't talked about step fixed costs. But there are variable costs, or there are fixed costs that vary in proportion to your operation. So if you be at sea for 90 days, you need so much citrus to keep off the scurvy. You need so much in terms of hardtack and sea biscuit and rum and the other things that you need to keep the crew going. So if you stay at sea for 30 days versus staying at sea for 90 days, which one needs more food? 90 days, yes. In 90 days, you'd be eating 3 times as much food, assuming nobody dies. Right? Then it'd be slightly less than 3 times as much. However, with 90 days at sea, have you more time to hunt down prizes? Aye, you do. So, with more time to hunt down prizes, 3 times the investment may be worth it. Now, the outcome here is variable. You want to make sure that you're making more than 3 times the sales for 3 times the investment. Otherwise, you head back to port, you take a few days rest, you replenish, maybe get a new crew and go out again. But you need to make sure that your income, the ratio of the income to your investment is higher for a longer period of operation. Otherwise, you keep your operational period shorter in order to maximize profit. So this is the interesting. In terms of revenue streams, there are several revenue streams for pirates. What do you think about the first revenue stream? Buried treasure. Who likes buried treasure? Only if you like to dig. And only if you know where the buried treasure is. Does buried treasure seem like a very likely revenue stream for a pirate?
No.
I hear you be saying no, and I'd be agreeing with you. The second revenue stream be prize money. Is prize money a good revenue stream for a pirate?
Yeah.
I hear you saying yes. There'll be risks. There'll be risks to everything in life. Be careful when you go out the door, because there'll be risks there too.
But there's always those shipping routes because the new colonies in the Caribbean and South America, they always are sending taxes back to Europe, and then they were always getting goods back from Europe. So I mean, so there was always places to go steal if you wanted money.
So again,
but Spanish galleys and protection, and if you're able to get that booty or something else.
So again, if you know where the shipping channels be, which are shipping tax money back across the oceans, then yes, prize money be a likely revenue stream. What about ransom? Has anybody ever heard of Captain Blackbeard?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, has anybody seen the movie Captain Phillips?
No.
A few more people, yes. So, in Captain Phillips, the pirates' revenue model there was what? Ransom. So, tell me, Tony, how did the pirates want to make money? Steal the ship and sell it back, exactly. So they may be asking for hundreds of millions. The ship is probably worth more. It represents a good value. You may even be able to pay that with insurance money instead of sending the Navy SEALs after them. But regardless of the outcome, the Somali pirates and Captain Blackbeard had the same revenue model. I'm going to show you Blackbeard right now.
Trying to make sure there's something important in the boat and something important out. Yeah.
So Blackbeard, as you see, was also known by the English name of Edward Teach. Edward Teach, the feared Captain Blackbeard, had, of course, a dark beard, and at times his personal branding included lighting cannon fuses on fire and sticking them in his beard to make himself fearsome to his enemies. It's part of his personal brand. Edward Teach, at one point, thought about what he could capture and what he could ransom, and he decided, well, lots of people ransom ships, and there is money there. Aye, there is, but I think I can do better. I think I can ransom an entire city. And he made strategic partnerships, strategic marketing alliances with other pirates. He blockaded and attacked the city of Charleston, South Carolina, and he asked for a ransom to give the city back. Now that's pretty bold, isn't it? That's a visionary entrepreneurial pirate. Let's find out how much money Captain Edward Keith got for Charleston, South Carolina. It looks like there were drugs involved too. Of course there were drugs involved. All right. I'm not finding the amount of money now, but I know he made an awful lot of money by blockading Charleston, South Carolina, and keeping it for ransom. It was a visionary move for a pirate to make. Everybody else was capturing ships, and he decided to go the opposite direction and capture a whole city. Again, he couldn't do it alone. He had to reach out, control resources that were not his own. He had to make pirate partnerships with other pirates, and these other pirates allowed him to carry out this bold vision, this bold mission. Now, one of my favorite definitions of entrepreneurship is doing something with resources you don't control. I think it's a fascinating business, fascinating way of thinking about entrepreneurship. If you're trying to do something, you may need money, you may need talent, you may need intellectual capital, you may need expertise that you don't personally have in your head or in your wallet. You can pitch your notion to investors, your idea to investors. You can get cash. You can rent the resources either by hiring people or buying equipment or doing whatever else you need. And that is truly in the spirit of entrepreneurship, using resources you don't control to create an outcome that only you can envision. See, the vision is what you as an entrepreneur bring to the table. The vision is the reason that nobody else has done yet what you're doing, where you're doing it. Your vision is the most important capital you bring as an entrepreneur. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Absolutely, it'd be a great question. What would be an example of a privateer in entrepreneurship today? And I'll tell you, Elon Musk is an example of a privateer. Anybody know who Elon Musk is and what companies he started? There are at least two companies, two great companies. The first one is Tesla Motors. Tesla Motors creates electric cars. They started at the high end making race cars, and they're working their way toward the low end to make cars for the rest of us. The second company he started, anybody know? An enterprise called SpaceX. Oh. Yes, SpaceX is a terrific company, but neither of those companies could stand on its own without the support of the government. So SpaceX contracts directly with the government, and Tesla Motors only makes sense because of government tax kickbacks for cleaner burning vehicles. The privateer today would be Elon Musk. He's legitimate. He's on the side of the government, and his revenue model wouldn't work without the assistance of the government.
I think they're like Blackwater.
Yeah, SpaceX may take over NASA altogether, though probably not the U.S. Navy. Blackwater is a government contractor, and there would be interesting blurring of the lines between warfighters for the United States and warfighters who are government contractors. There's interesting times for people who are privateers.
There's also those one guys that had those, you know, the Punisher, the comic book Punisher. I'll get that name of that company, but they were all at the Boston bombing, and then like no media never pointed them out. Like all these guys with like 5'11" tactical bags and vests and like boots, and like obviously they're contractors, but no one in the media ever said anything about them. And then like after the explosions, all these guys didn't have their giant ass backpacks, which was pretty funny. I'll show you a picture right now.
Yeah. Or show it to me during the next class.
Oh.
All right, unless we have any other questions, I think we've reached our limit for today. So I thank you for coming. Be sure to talk like a pirate today.
Arr.
Yes, please.